Recently, the Louisiana NAACP called for a national travel advisory for tourists and events coming to Louisiana after the state legislature passed several bills aimed at the LGBTQ community. The governor vetoed those bills. He was overridden on one of them. With that in mind, what would you say to conferences, other events, even sporting events who might be reticent to come to Louisiana, spend their tourism dollars because of the state's direction toward the LGBTQ community? We'll start with Stephen Wagersback. You have 1 minute.
I think Louisiana is one of the most welcoming states that the country has. And I think if you really talk to people who visit here, they would tell you the same thing. You talk to anyone who comes to Louisiana, they say they get here, they have a warm, welcoming experience that's second to no other. And we've earned that reputation, and we have that reputation. Now, when it comes to the LGBTQ issue, I think the legislature was talking about impact on children. And we have a duty to protect children in this state. And there was a bill that came up dealing with sex change operations for children. And that's what the issue was. I think the legislature made the right idea, the right call. We have to protect children at all costs. I don't think that hurts our reputation. I think that helps our reputation. I think the country is looking to come here to not just enjoy when they travel and visit, but also know that we're going to have the values that represents them and represents what this country is all about. And I think that's what we've done.
Thank you. Mr. Lundy?
Yes, it was an issue about transgenderism, I think. And so I've said all along, and I think that we agree that don't mess with our children. That's it. What consenting adults agree to do, that's fine. But this was an issue about that issue, and I know that it's a volatile issue. It's one that sparks extremism. But I'm sorry, that's the way I believe. We don't mess with our kids. And a consenting adult does what they want to do, whether I agree with them or not. You know, I have my belief system, other people have their belief system, and they can do what they choose to do. But we have the best culture in America. New Orleans should be the best tourist city in the nation, and it has been in years past. I think it will be again. Under my governorship, we're going to be the #1 tourist state in the nation. We're going to make sure that all the cities the blight is cleaned up, the poverty is removed, transformation takes place, the crime is reduced, and we'll have the #1 tourist state in the nation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lundy. I'm sorry, Mr. Wilson.
You know, we've spent $50,000 a day of public tax dollars to debate issues that infringe on people's rights. And I would say to those companies that see these extreme policies that are a turnoff for them to make investments, to move businesses here, I would say to them that Louisiana is much better than that. The majority of our citizens don't support those extreme policies, as you've noted in polling data that says we spent too much time on issues that don't make us safer, smarter, healthier, or wealthier. I think it's incumbent upon us as citizens to respect people for who they are and allow them to achieve the things that they want to achieve in life. When you talk about these issues of why people come to Louisiana, it's our culture, it's the unique nature of who we are. The fact that on the campaign trail, I've talked to parents who are afraid for their children now because of these extreme policies and positions. I've talked to people who are leaving our state, doctors, professionals, people that we all have said tonight that we want them to stay. Part of the brain drain is that we're forcing that drain out with some of these extreme policies, and I think it's time to put those extreme policies to bed.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Mr. Schroeder.
Look, I want to say a million things. First of all, this is an attack on a fiber of the family, based on what the Old Testament says. This wasn't an attack on some individual. This is an attack to the family culture of the family unit as we know it. And that's a problem. You know, what you do on your own, that's up to you. That's between you and your God. I was put on this earth to love people, and I love everybody. I don't care what you do and where you do it. It's not my place to judge or throw the rock. I love this state. I love New Orleans. I'm born and raised here. I love the culture. I love its people. I've sworn many oaths, and I've never sworn only to take care of the Democrats or the Republicans. I say we have to live together and love together. But this was an attack on the fiber of the family, and I fully supported where the legislature was on this issue.
And Senator Hewitt.
Now, this legislation was about protecting children. Children are not old enough to make these kinds of decisions about sex changes. Children are not old enough to smoke or drink or vote or go to the military. This was about protecting children and giving them the protection that they need until they become adults. Adults can make all the decisions they want, and I respect their right to be able to do that. But this was about protecting children. I think we do have a great culture. People visit Louisiana all the time because of our culture and our hospitality and our uniqueness. And I do not believe that this is an issue that is going to stop conventions from coming here. I agree that it is about family, and I think Louisiana stands strong in those principles, and I'm very proud of the vote that we took in the legislature this year on these issues.
Thank you. We appreciate you all staying with time.